Before we get completely started with the giant lube stuff on the back, I wanted to mention a couple of things that I put up front. 2 possible pouches, 1 on each side, attached to the crash bars. What I personally use them for is cold weather and wet weather. Welcome back to Moto Photo Adventures, everybody. Chris and I this week are doing the Panhandle Adventure Trail. And we thought, since on our first day, we haven't quite gotten to the beginning of our destination, the start of the journey. We have stopped in South Georgia, North Florida at a small hotel, but I'd like to take the opportunity to show you how I've packed our Giant Loop luggage. Giant Loop, one of our newest product sponsors, sent us this to test out and to review. They did not tell us what to say, but they did send it to us for free. So I'm going to do this in reverse order so that you can see how this stuff works and how I've packed it with the thoughts of this particular journey. Each journey is going to be different. This one happens to be in the winter. I'm wearing no long sleeves, so it's not really winter. Tomorrow is supposed to be really cold, so I've packed a lot of extra cold weather gear and things like that. So the first thing we're going to start with is the tank bag. This is the Diablo tank bag. It's weatherproof. One of the good things that I like about this tank bag is the ability for it to unzip, to remove completely, or to just flip to the side to fill up your tank. Inside the tank bag, generally speaking, I have all of the things that I'm going to need while I'm riding or a quick access. My glasses, a battery brick, a USB with the cigarette plug. They don't call it cigarette plugs anymore, do they? They call it something else. But the Norden has a place right up on the dash where I can put the USB. I have GoPro batteries. I have camera cards. I put the camera in here right now. I'm recording on that camera. But you see, it's the quick access stuff so that we can make our videos and I can have access to power anytime that I need it. Moving toward the back, I'm going to move all the way to the back here. This is the Rogue bag, dry bag, roll top. It's roll top and it's roll bottom, both ends, and it also has the air. Now, in this one, I keep only my clothes and my toiletries and the things that I'm going to quickly grab and go into a hotel, or if I'm camping, I can grab this entire bag and I can go into the shower or at a campsite or whatever. But it's just a really quick way to keep the clothes and the nighttime accessories that I'm going to need easily accessible right on the back. Following the Rogue dry bag is the Great Basin. It's one of the largest saddlebags that they have. It's attached in a number of points. I'll go over this really quickly because I'm actually going on the interior. They strap down to keep it pulled down here. They have 3 buckles that go toward the back and can attach to any portion of the back side of your motorcycle. I only have opted to use 2, which is all that's necessary for me, and where the holes in my plate in the back here allow for that. And then over the top, to keep things closed, they have 3 buckles at the top here, 1 that goes over the center, and then that's what I use to keep the top closed, and then these 2 to keep any sundry items that you want to be strapped to the back, like this. And that's how I do this. Now, this is super simple to get out of here. I do run it up through the mollies on the Rogue so that it can be easily stay connected if I want to remove everything at once, or if I just want to remove the Rogue bag, all I have to do is remove these buckles and then boom, we're done. Now, I have done a little thing for myself here is I put some Velcro straps around a water bottle, and that holds that there for me. That's just my personal preference. Now, for the Great Basin bag, I'll show you how I've packed this. I've done it in kind of a way that makes sense to me, and I'm going to do it in reverse and then tell you why I've put them in the way that I've put them in. Number 1, right on top, chargers. All the power that I need for a campsite or charging camera batteries, that's easily accessible if we stop for lunch and my camera needs some new batteries or it needs to be charged or whatever. I have that in a Think Tank clear bag right on top, easily accessible. I also have my camp chair because you got to have some place to sit once you get to the campsite. Let me put all this stuff down here. Also on top, we have couple more little camp items, some little sundry items that don't necessarily need to go in their own bag, something that's easily accessible. If I don't need to take all of this off there, but I do need some coffee in a hurry, we've got all of this going on. A camp light, by the way. Again, some sundry items that just lay right on top and are easily accessible. Now, one of the things that is really cool about Giant Loop is in the Great Basin bag, they send you a number of dry bags. In this particular one, I have opted to put another think tank bag, which carries all of our audio equipment, the microphones and the recorders and such, so that that can be easily accessible. But because they have a dry bag from Giant Loop that is almost the exact perfect size of that think tank bag, I've opted to give myself a little bit more security in case there's something in this Great Basin bag that wants to sweat. You know, sometimes you put something in there that's got some dew on it, or it's got some condensation or whatever. So I just double dip and make sure my audio electronics are protected. Next item on the way down is I have a couple of more sundry items. I have a sling for my camera and some earplugs that I want to grab if I want to. My towel, that's easy enough. And then we get down to the main items. Now, right on top is another one of those Giant Loop dry bags. And what I do with this one, I'm not going to open it all the way, but I've got a Sea to Summit tent. I've got the tent, I've got the fly, and I've got the poles and the stakes all in this. Now, the reason I use the dry bag for the tent, which seems a little counterintuitive, is that if you're camping in the rain and you're packing in the rain and you're gonna put this inside of your big Giant Loop bag, again, I use this to keep everything else in here dry. So hopefully a dry bag is going to keep the wet inside with the tent. That's the thought process. We'll see if it actually pans out that way. Then we have another one. This is a Sea to Summit bag, which I am using for a cook stove and my fuel and some coffee and some bug spray. You don't eat the bug spray, so it's not really the camp, you eat it. Washcloths, some snacks, some tuna fish, some things like that, some utensils, keep that in there. Doesn't have to stay dry, so it's not a dry bag, but it's easily accessible still. Then we have the Moto pumps where we could, if we get a flat, we can pump our tire up and we can fix it. We're gonna do a review on this. This is another one of our product sponsors. This is Moto pumps. We'll let you know what that one is later. Then, down on the two sides is where I've made a conscious decision to put soft stuff. In case I do have a tumble over, the bike is going to hit on the soft stuff. So on this side, I have the bedroll, the inflatable bedroll from Big Agnes, and I also have my pillow and a couple of other soft items in here. It's all very soft and pliable, so it gives us a little bit of a cushion if I hit the ground. I'm not hitting hard like a tool kit or my camp stove or something metal like that. That's not what's hitting the ground. I'm giving myself a little bit of an airbag, if you know what I mean. Then on the other side, just to make it even, is my sleeping bag. And that's this entire sleeping bag from Big Agnes as well, from Moto Camp Nerd, another one of our product sponsors, and we're really appreciative of them. And that, ladies and gentlemen, yep, that's it. That's how I packed for an entire 10-day journey across the top of Florida. And one of the cool things about my new bike, the Norden 901, is I was able to go rackless with the Giant Loop. I even took off the oh shit handles that happen right here for the passenger. So I've added some stuff and taken away some stuff, but I didn't have to have the extra weight and the extra expense to add racks since I was dedicated to going to soft luggage. The Giant Loop works perfectly for this. So the really neat thing about this is once I get it all back in, if we decide to stay at a hotel and I don't want to leave all of my gear on my bike, I unzip my tank bag, take that in, undo 4 straps, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 with all of this stuff still in there. I just grab it, I throw it over my shoulder, and I walk right in the door. It seems to work out pretty good for me. This is actually the first trip that I've done with Giant Loop, so I'm really happy with the way it packed. I was able to get everything that I wanted in there, plus some stuff, because you know how we always overpack. You never leave room for a couple of things that you pick out on the way on the trip that you want to take home, so got to keep that in mind. So I'm gonna pack all of this back up, and I hope you've enjoyed the way this works out. Let me know how you pack, because this is just the way I do it. If you have any better ideas, leave a comment below, hit the like button and the subscribe button, of course. Thanks for watching Moto Photo Adventures, and we will see you on the next one.